time for today's commentary with Scott Henderson.
I was torn today between speaking about car repair and speaking about being pregnant. I should clarify that it is my wife and I who are pregnant, not Steve and I. Steve and I have shared many experiences together, but felt that this might put a crimp in our relationship. All the better, my wife has nicer legs than Steve. Being so torn between these two serious topics, I decided to choose the most logical. Yes, I'll speak on both. Now, I'll note to you that these days I can't help but turn around and notice the number of women I meet or know who are pregnant, or the number of people who comment to me that their car just died or it's in the shop. This is happening to me as well. We're expecting in a few months our second child, and ironically, we're expecting in a few days the bill on our repairs to our second car. This leads me to think that there are some similarities to having babies and having a car and the responsibilities that go with both. For the most part, having a second child and having a second car are relatively simple. You usually learn from the first experience and can utilize that knowledge in your second attempt. However, it's the cost incurred that tends to make the two distinct. I'll admit that I'm a fairly knowledgeable father, having gone to prenatal classes, watched the videos, read the books, and lived through my first child's first 3 years thus far. I have to also admit that when it comes to cars, however, I'm not as knowledgeable. I know where the key fits and how to operate it, but haven't the first clue to do when it breaks down. This is akin to the part of conceiving a new child. I know where the key fits and how to operate it and have to put up with the mood swings and breakdowns of my wife during pregnancy. When it comes to my car, I depend on the experience of experts to tell me what's wrong with it. I take it in the shop and they lay out some long techno-babble and I lay out hundreds of dollars for repairs. I wish that I could meet an honest mechanic that would just say, "Mr. Henderson, I can tell you what's wrong with your car, but you wouldn't understand it. I just suggest you pay this amount and I'll fix it." To this mechanic, I would gladly give my account number and he could drain every last cent. It's useless trying to explain to me what's wrong because I wouldn't know if he's telling me the truth or not. It's different with children. You have to constantly pay for the upkeep, but then you know what the things the kid needs because you have to buy them and you have to change them yourself. I'm not an idiot when it comes to taking care of my daughter, and what I don't know, the trained expert, her mother, knows. It occurs to me, though, that there are a couple of options I'd like to see in the deal of having children. A warranty would be nice, but then I'd probably only start to experience problems the day after the warranty expires. The problem is that I'm the one giving the warranty, the guarantee for most of the child's servicing and needs. It's not like if I'm dissatisfied with the model after a couple of years, I can trade it in on something else. I'm stuck, and if it's a lemon, everyone will say it's the parents' fault for the way the kid turned out. I figure that kids, like cars, depreciate in value. Currently, an infant is worth a minimum of 10 grand on the black market, but the figure depreciates as the child ages. After 14 or 15 years, you can't get anything for them unless it's minimum wage, to do someone else's chores for a couple of hours that they won't do at home despite how much you bribe them. Still, that's more than you'll ever get for the average 14 or 15-year-old car.
That was Scott Henderson with today's commentary.